Breaking over the weekend, longtime admin Minecraft Yoshi 26 steps down. We will bring you all the key points from Yoshi's resignation letter, as well as what his resignation and activity will mean for the future of the server. Members were surprised last Friday morning with the server unexpectedly crashing. We'll bring you the details of Friday morning and what possibly caused it. The May ISM took place last weekend. We'll bring you all the news about the approved projects at last Saturday's meeting. There was also an ASM that took place following the ISM. We'll bring you the details from that as well. We will also take a look at how the 2021 Major League Spleef season is shaking out through its first 2 weeks of play. We will also take a look at server events from the past month and what is coming soon. It's Thursday, June 3rd, 2021, and this is MBN Newsroom. Good day and welcome. We start with breaking news over the weekend. The bombshell of the past weekend was longtime member and administrator Minecraft Yoshi 26 announcing his resignation from admin, a post he's held since April 2015. Although this wasn't too much of a curveball with his recent inactivity, it is still a large story. Yoshi mentions in his resignation letter released Saturday that his time for the server has decreased with his recent graduation and eye towards his future. He said time and stress have been focused on that and, quote, to be blunt, growing up, unquote. Real-life responsibilities aside, Yoshi has said his game shows, such as The Amazing Race, are canceled. He says, quote, I don't really have the time to plan anything big scale in game anymore, even if I wanted to, unquote. He said he's canceling these game shows instead of giving them to someone else because he does not want to see anyone run anything under the brand of any of these shows. He clarifies, quote, I don't want to stop people from running similar events. I just would not want anyone to run it under that branding and name. If anything, I'd encourage people to make their own racing style events for the future, unquote, referring to The Amazing Race. One event Yoshi won't cancel yet is the MRT Vision screenshot contest, saying it does not take much time and effort to run, and as of now, he plans to continue hosting them when the time is right. Of course, with all of the staff loss straining from October 4th, Yoshi addressed it in a capacity, quote, while I may disagree with certain actions and other events that transpired surrounding the October 4th events, I don't hold any hate towards any person. Continues on to say, do I still believe the whole process was mishandled on many sides? Absolutely. There were many procedural errors and assumptions on all sides that ultimately made the situation worse. I'd be lying if I said that the events of that day hadn't affected my relationship with the server, but I have actively chosen to move on from that and move on with my life, unquote. You can read Yoshi's full resignation letter linked in announcements on Discord. Yoshi will retain the governor rank for Hummingbird Islands in Idokani. As we close the opening segment, I'd like to give a small editorial. I'd just like to say to Yoshi, if you are watching right now, I thank you, along with most if not all of the server's community, for all the contributions you have put into this community and the imprint you have left here. I do, as well as everyone else. No, you're not necessarily gone for good, but thank you for being such a great person in this community, and I wish you luck in the future and hope you can achieve what you are striving for. We'll be back right after this. Following Saturday's ISM, an administrative staff meeting was held. In the release following the ISM, it was said that the inactivity review proceedings were initiated for a few moderators. Inactivity review proceedings mean that admins will have one-on-one conversations with said active mods to determine whether it would be likely that mod would return to active status. This being public knowledge is so people aren't caught off guard if a mod were to step down for inactivity or receive a suspension. It was also made clear that these proceedings would not necessarily lead to a mod stepping down, but it may lead to it. Admins are also reviewing some feedback and considering some undisclosed changes to the mod nomination process. Quote, "We have regularly heard feedback from members that the requirements to submit a nomination are fairly high, and while we don't want to lower our standards when it comes to the voting phase, we do want to make it easier for nominations to be considered," unquote. Any changes accepted by the admins would take effect at the July GSM. Whereas Yoshi's resignation was separate from the ASM, admins are considering dropping special titles such as City Rank Coordinator or Special Events Coordinator with his departure. Nobody will get the Special Events Coordinator title as of now, and admins hope, quote, "that special events are run by a diverse group of members in the future," unquote. It was also decided that the July GSM will occur this year on July 10th, 3 days before the server's anniversary. The July ISM was moved up 1 week from its original scheduling to July 24th. Coming up, the server unexpectedly crashed on Friday morning. We'll bring you the timeline of events on Friday and what the probable cause may have been. We will also recap the ISM results and take a look at recent and upcoming server events as well. We will also recap the ISM results and take a look at recent upcoming server events, including a recap of the first 2 weeks of the Major League Spleef season. This is MBN Newsroom. On Friday morning, the server unexpectedly crashed after severe lag out of nowhere. This occurred at around 10:20 to 10:30 a.m. UTC on Friday. Per Frumple, the server logs seemed to involve item stacks, tile entities, and containers. That was all the info the server logs could give. However, Frumple had a strong suspicion it had to do with two guests joining 5 minutes after... However, Frumple had a strong suspicion it had to do with two guests joining 5 minutes before the lag spike started. As a result, the two guests, Warp Times and Smokey Allen, were both indefinitely banned as a precautionary measure. Frumple suspects that the exploit that caused this issue was due to an outdated paper build. While guests may not be able to drop items at all, many find exploits to get around World Guard blocks or anything else that would prevent them from doing so. And now on to a recap of the ISM results from last weekend. A reroute of the B58 from Kingsnake was approved, as well as an extension of the A54 from Victoria to the B545, which is a new road proposed along with the extension. The extension was partially approved only to the B545. The extension was proposed to Rattlerville, shown by the red line on the map on your screen. The B545, indicated by the yellow line, will terminate in Macapa. The full extension was not approved because of staff needing clarity of Kingsnake's plans with terrain relating to a mountain near Rattlerville. As of the recording of this broadcast, that has not been clarified. Also in Rattlerville, a river will be widened to allow Kingsnake to operate riverboats down the river. Cody HM proposed an extension to the A892, which would follow the Lakeshore line. The proposal was approved up to L5 Station. Staff needed more details for the remaining portion, which Cody needs to email to staff to get the rest approved. Alpha DS proposed an addition to the A245 project to include the B230 and upgrade it to A-Class and sign it as the A245. The red line is the current B230, which will be upgraded and signed as A245, which will connect to the A30. The blue lines are the parts that were originally approved. This whole proposal was approved as written. Fort Yaxier was transferred to CCC9 from Camel Fantasy, who is indefinitely banned. A new extension of the MRT Plains line from its current terminus at Hannibal to Caravaca broke ground Monday in Hannibal. The extension will run through the towns of Watford, Nook, Prismarine, and its airfield, and Caravaca. Staff sponsor Skelly Zomperman plans to have the extension complete by the July ISM. Coming up, we will take a look at recent and upcoming server events, as well as a recap of the first 2 weeks of the Major League Spleef season. We'll be back in just a moment.
What the hell are you?
Igen med Francesca, servei bani prodes. I tame je Francesca Schreiner. Der arbeider gui sedi to work for back memorial in Shengo to Tilsa Brooks. You need to get there right away.
How do I get to Shenghua?
You can teleport your boot only to the ferry terminal because we needed to make this longer.
Hey, oh no, the bad guys already came. Fortunately, there's an FLR station nearby. Yay, I got here in time and protected the books.
This memorial is fake and shown be destroyed by the MBN Newsroom.
You got to move if you're ready or not. Give it all that you got. Turn it up now. You got to move. It's your chance to fly with your head held high. Right about now, you got to move. Don't let this moment pass you by. This is your time. You got to move if you're ready or not. Give it all that you got. Turn it up now. You got to.
We welcome you back. The biggest competitive season on the MRT Major League Spleef started May 14th. Through roughly 2 weeks of the season, East End leads the league with 91 points. Since all players play their games whenever they can, everyone plays at their own pace. East End has played all 40 of its games, so that is why they have the most points and so many of them so early. However, a rising star in Lapis Bay is coming for that top spot. With 10 games left for them to play, they're in second, 10 points behind East End at 81. Behind them, the defending champs Tits and Saku have underperformed in comparison to the ones above them. They have 56 points and have 12 games left to play in the season. Santa Stend is behind them with 50 points. However, they are playing with a 500 record if you combine regulation and overtime wins. They have 6 games left to play, and anyone with a better winning percentage would be on track to pass them up. And that is exactly what Utopia can do with 10 fewer games played than Santa Stena and only 5 points behind them. Aquamarine Bay follows 1 point behind at 44. The other Shovelers Cup finalist from last year currently sits at 7th place with 38 points. That's the city-state of Catania. The city-state of Catania and Aquamarine Bay have both played 20 games. That's about half. Caravaca, another rookie, sits up at 18 points and 8th with 15 games under their belts. Sandsvik follows up with 15 points and 18 games at 9th place. They finished 7th last year. And Silverville is in the last playoff spot, 10th with 14 points in 14 games. MBN will continue to cover the season as much as we can, and we plan to televise the playoffs if we are able. And now to other server events from the past month. On May 22nd, the 20th Taco Burrito-a-thon was held in Crystal City, the site of the first ever Taco Burrito-a-thon. Events in this Taco Burrito-a-thon included Spleef, Sumotori, PvP, swimming, ice hockey, American football, and the big staple of the event, the marathon. This year's marathon ran from Spawn City to Crystal City as an homage to the torch relay from the first Taco Burrito-a-thon. Team Taco won every event in a 7-0 rout of Team Bacon. The event was televised by MBS. Looking to the future for Taco Burrito-a-thon, Sealand is slated to host a Taco Burrito-a-thon in the future. Commissioner Skelly Zomperman expects 2 more this summer. 4 cities are candidates to host as well: Bristol, Lapis Bay, Las Playas, and Prismarine. Sealand is the only guaranteed host as of now, and at least one of the 4 cities I just mentioned will host a Taco Burrito-a-thon this summer. The MGA Bank Holiday Tournament took place following the ISM on Saturday in Winterside. The tournament was won by John G, followed by Needham Nanel and Skelly Zomperman. The tournament was televised by MBS. The Miawan Grand Prix, a horse race through the streets of Miawan, took place Monday and was won by King Snake. The event was run by Harbor Random 852 and it was televised by the MRT Media Studio from High Tech TR. And that will do it for this edition of MBN Newsroom. Thank you so much for joining us. Program notes before we go: join us for more exciting Spleef action throughout the MLS season right here on MBN. And join us as well on Sunday, June 13th for the June GSM coverage. Starts at 7 p.m. UTC. For the latest news, follow us on Twitter at MRT BroadcastNet. And from the MBN Aston Center, I'm Not Short 925, MBN News. Have a great day.